beloved, welcome to my diary. I'm Tatami. Here we talk about whatever I want to, and today I want to talk about a familiar face that popped up on my timeline, Young Pharaoh. I just learned today he's a rapper. I usually only see him when he pops up talking about historical figures such as Malcolm X. And so I just didn't realize he made music. But I noticed he was being brought up in mainstream media because he was canceled from an event that CPAC said was about uncanceling. So that's what a lot of the headlines are talking about. Obviously, they're also talking about the fact that he said something about Jews, like he thinks it's a fraud or fake or, it's a scam or scheme of some sort. And I found it all very interesting because as somebody who is a pagan and hangs out in pagan communities, pagan in the modern day basically meaning anybody who doesn't adhere to an Abrahamic religion or the Abrahamic God, I realized as I was looking at a lot of the outrage that I just don't believe that there would be this level of outrage and he would have been asked to not speak if he had said the same thing about voodoo, Wicca, Candomble, if he'd said it about some sort of indigenous religion, I'm not familiar with the names, but if he'd said the same thing about dreamcatchers, Kachina dolls, if he'd, I think, even said it about like Buddhists, I don't think he'd have received as much, anger and indignation. And I don't think that CPAC would have asked him not to speak at the event. Like if he had railed on voodoo all day long, I think they would have been fine letting him in. So to be completely honest, I don't think it's totally a thing about being equal and religiously tolerant, because there is a level of intolerance, obviously, that he leveled at Jewish people. However, the response of CPAC, I don't think is rooted in trying to protect religious speech. I think that's the key here, is they didn't cancel him because he was rude to someone's religion. They canceled him because they recognize that generally being anti-Semitic is bad optics for, their general grift. So yeah, that was just something that I was really noticing, is that I do think that there is such a lack of respect for non-Abrahamic religions that we don't even stop to think about the fact that these religions would not be able to carry that same weight. If somebody wanted to talk shit on our religions in public forums, similarly, they would be able to do so without impunity from their jobs, from anything that they ever did. They'd be able to mock us and reject us and write cruel things and misinformation about us, and it would be accepted. I fully believe that. So I do think that it's interesting to just think about that I don't think he would have been canceled if he'd said it about anyone but the Abrahamic God. What do you think? I'm not sure, like I said, like I'm not really like a fan of his, and personally I think he kind of wins more having been canceled by these white conservatives who were, planning on tokenizing him. He would have won if he'd gotten to speak. He would have gotten a decent amount of followers, but being canceled, he gets the whole enchilada, y'all. He gets to have the people who are who are pro-conservative. He also gets the people who are anti-conservative and mad conservatives acted that way. Like, he's gonna get just people who are rooting for everybody black, people who are, you know, finding his music and finding his style and belief system and he makes sense to them. It's just he's going to get the whole kit and caboodle with this. So I think he's probably going to come out on top regardless, which is why he likely said yes. He was trying to, you know, use them as well as they were trying to tokenize him. But yeah, I really did think for a few minutes about the logistics of if he was teasing an African traditional religion or some other indigenous or tribal religion. I honestly don't think they'd have asked him to step down because their beliefs are just so strong that all religions should be able to, you know, live and practice in peace. I honestly, I don't know. I don't believe it. Do you think that they'd have reacted the same way? CPAC would have reacted the same way if he'd said this about voodoo or Wicca or insert the blank and it not be the Abrahamic God at the head of that religion? I don't know. Tell me. May your ancestors and spirit guides be with you at every crossroads, and I will see you next time.